Uh, Hello everyone. Okay, so let's begin with the meeting here. So just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay. So today we are beginning with a topic here called as project implementation here. So we have here this is the HR4 subject, and the topic is project implementation. So, my name is Merwin Pinto, and I'm an assistant professor from the Department of Business Administration in Teresian College. So, as you all know, we had a lot of discussion about what is a project. Project is nothing but where a task is given, and you have to convert that task into a given output. So, project implementation is nothing but how do you execute a given work or a given project here. So there are a lot of activities that are there, right, which just need to be planned, operated, controlled for the utilization of resources here. So generally, what happens here is that there will be an implementing agency which will do all this, what you can say, implementation, that is planning and execution part. So we'll be doing this here. Then there are two elements in this. Project implementation has two elements. One is a project activation, and the other one is project operation you have. All right. Okay. So please tell me if the voice is audible. So if not, you can just check out your volume. You can see. So just you can check out with your volume. Right, right. So, project implementation, what happens over here is that is the foundation stage of a project implementation. It involves all activities which makes the project operational. So, to make a project operational, so what are the things that are involved in that? That is being taken care by project activation. Like for example, say, how will you get the raw materials? How many manpower you may require? How do you need to train your employees, and what is the requirement, or how many people are required in the what you can say, okay, how many people are required to complete a particular project. All right, so this is what is called as project activation here. Then project operation means in order to in this process, inputs are transformed into output. So while converting the input from input to output, what are the things that are need to be done, or what activities are need to be done, that is being done over here. Then coming to the next one, what we have here. All right. There are certain stages of project implementation. Project implementation has certain stages. There are basically 7 stages are there. One is the project initiation. The other one is a project blueprint. The other one is authority and responsibility. Then you have estimating and arrangement of resources you have. All right. So again, please just check out with your connectivity problem. If you have any connectivity problem, then only you can hear it properly. All right. So please check out with your connectivity problem, because from my end, it's showing that everyone are or they're audible. So I think you need to check with your connectivity problem here. Fine. So there are basically what you can say, 7 stages are there. So first one, this project initiation. Then we have project blueprint you have. Then you have authority and responsibilities there. Then you have estimating and arrangement of resources are there. Then you have directing and controlling is there. Then establishment of proper control systems there. Then go live and support is there in this, right? So let's look with the each stages in detail here. First one, this we call it as project initiation. In this stage, initial planning and preparation is done. Right, so they'll do a lot of planning in this, how to start a business or how to do a project proposal, how to appoint the staff, and all these things are required here. So they'll basically come out with a plan. This stage is required basically to get the approval of the project. So approval maybe from the government, or maybe from the stakeholders, or maybe from the project managers or the higher authorities, right? Maybe to get an estimation of the project cost or the budget. So we require the project initiation is required. So basically in this stage, initial planning and preparation for project has to be done. So this is the first one. Then you have a blueprint you have. So uh, basically in this stage, uh, how the main purpose of this stage is to achieve a common understanding of how the organization intends to run. So basically when you draw a blueprint, you'll get an idea how the organization needs to work out, right? You'll get an idea, okay, like how does the project or how does the organization needs to work out with it. Generally it involves projecting the details of the work and decision taken about the task to be done, by whom it is to be done, and when, where they are supposed to be done. So what happens over here is that who will take the project, or what is the project all about. Certain tasks are decided, all right, who all will complete what task, and when they are supposed to do the project. So all these are done in a blueprint. Basically you get an idea how to run the project here. Then authority and responsibility. Who is the person who will take the responsibility of getting the work done, distributing the work, then decision making, all right, uh, with regarding to the project, all right. There'll be a project team will be there, all right, who will be, that is the initiation, or the project team will be there, who will take the authority. So that is also decided. Then the existing organizational units, all right, and establishing formal lines. So it depends upon the, basically it depends upon the line of authority, right? So who will take what responsibility and what authority they are taking in this particular stage here. Then estimating and arrangement of resources is done, right? So here, what will happen out here is that how many people you require to complete a project, what is the machines that are required, or what equipments you may require, materials, how much you may require, raw materials or anything you may require, all right. Then what is the cost, all right, what is the money that you require, how much time you need to you need to have to complete that particular project. So this has been decided here. Then um, then you have directing and controlling. At this stage, like it involves the activities like motivating your project staff, executing of the project activities, taking correct measures, or if there is a difference between the set standard and actual performance, right? So this is the last but the second stage that you have here. So how will you execute your project, all right? And if there is any difference between what you had earlier planned and what is the actual performance, how will you control the difference here, right? See, certain times what happens is that the projects of a companies or of the organization may run for a certain number of times, all right, or it may run for certain duration, it may run here. So what will happen over here, how will you do the differences here? That is what is been done here. Then estimation of proper control system, right? So okay, it involves determining what information is required for the project control. So to control the given project, or to control a particular project, what is the information that you require here. Then identifying sources of such information. Where will you get the project information about a particular project, and setting up a reporting system. So there is every project will have a reporting manager. How will you report this project that you are about to complete or which you're completing to your manager here? So that is the estimation of proper control system. Then last stage we have go, live and support here. It is also called as a termination of project, right? This is the last, at this stage what happens here is that um, you will come to an end of a particular project here, right? And will hand over the responsibility to the existing staff, right? So once when you have completely done a particular project, you will prepare a final report of the project that has been completed, and you will give it to your staff members for reporting purpose. In this, it is a time to move from project oriented and pre-production environment to live production operation. And basically, this project implementation happens before you start with your project operation, or you start really working upon your project here, right? So this is the 7 stages of implementing the project here, right? So these are the 7 stages that you have. Then uh, let's look into why certain times projects will get successful and why certain times it will get a failure here. So okay, the first one is, right, okay, okay. Still, if there is any network problem, please check out with your uh, uh, network, all right, so that you can get a clear voice you can get here, all right. So okay, still if there is any network problem, please just look into it, because like it is possible only when you have a proper network problem, right? So you can hear it very clearly once when your network is resolved. Then okay, let's look into why or what are the factors that leads to the successful of a project. Yeah, first one is proper planning and preparation. If you have a proper plan and preparation of a particular project, or a pre-execution or proper planning of a project, then your project will be successful one, right? And project needs to be implemented after they have been carefully prepared or carefully planned, right? So this is what is the first factor. First, you need to do a proper planning here. Then uh, coming to the second one here, simplicity of design, all right? Your project, what you're defining or what you're giving here, it should be clearly defined in simple way, right? So that anyone can understand that, right? All right. Projects that have been well defined, that have well defined objectives and with a simple understand, and which are simple to understand, along with the appropriate technologies, have a better chance to be implemented successfully. So projects which are very simple to understand, and you use a little bit of technologies in this, so you can, there are chances that the project would be implemented in a very successful manner, right? Then uh, sometimes what happens is that, all right, okay, efficient management now. So the success of the success of implementation of project lies in the hands of efficient manager, and as such, sound project management is the key to project success, right? So the person who is handling the project, right, even if it's very efficient, then the project would be very successful. If the person is not so competent enough, then the project would be a failure, right? So a competent manager always looks for difficulty as a stepping stone, and with his capable qualities turns them into opportunities. So your manager is very competent, so whatever difficulties that he may face in implementing the project, will make sure that these are converted into opportunities. Then, of course, commitment, government and government policies plays a crucial role for the success of any project. Yes, right? Because why? We need to get a approval from the government. We need to get a what you can say. We need to follow the rules and regulations of the government. Then, uh, so far, what happens here is that so far, so for the successful implementation of the project, government commitment is a prerequisite. You require a government commitment. You require. Yeah. Then why sometimes all projects may not be a successful one? Why does it lead to a failure? So uh, why does it lead to a failure? First one is financial constraint. Right? uh, when you're coming up with a project proposal, right, with so much amount of money, so financial constraint is there, right? So why there is a financial constraint? Because the cost due to increase in the price of raw materials, sometimes the raw material prices may go up. Wages or salaries you have to pay to your people who are doing the project, you need to pay to them. Then increasing rate of interest, the interest rate. Sometimes you might have borrowed the money from the money lenders or from the bank. From them, you might have borrowed the money, right? So because of this, you may see that, okay, like, all right, because of these factors, the cost of project may increase, right? Then technical constraint is there, right? uh, it includes lack of technology. Sometimes what happens is that because of the financial problem, you may not be able to purchase the high quality technology. So you may have to manage with the low quality machines or equipments. Right? If you're using a low quality machines or equipments, definitely your quality will be less. Right? So the technical defects in installation of machines and other equipments, all right, that is one of the problem here. Then you don't have a project objectives, right? The projects are undefined, right? Often a person who implements the project are not clear about the project objectives, why they are doing that project, all right? So see, if I'm implementing a project, I should know what is the intention, why, what is my intention of doing that project, what should be my outcome. Right? That itself, if I'm not clear, then doing the project is of waste. Then more emphasis on technology. Technical staff, they emphasize more on the technical aspects, and these they may ignore the managerial aspects. All right. For example, say if I'm a person who's from a technical background, I would like to have more technical equipments in front of me. I do not know how the company may manage. Right? So sometimes what happens is that you are giving more emphasis to the technology. You're upgrading the technology. Yes, fine, it's good. But what about the other staff members? Right? You need to concentrate on all the aspects, right from the technology or human resources or finance or marketing. All these things need to be concentrated, right? Not only on one aspect, on all aspects you should do it here. Then sometimes you may not have well trained or skilled employees, all right? You may not have that. So that is one of the problem of project implementation here. Then, all right, monitoring system. All right, people may not monitor you at every moment when you're doing a project. You may not be able to. People may not be monitor your work, all right, in a efficient manner. So this will lead to a complete failure of the project. Often projects are not completed within the budgeted resources or scheduled time. Right? Sometimes what happens is that you may estimate that the cost of the project may be like 1 lakh or 10 lakhs. But let us take the cost of the project is 10 lakh, right? But when doing the project, when you're putting the project into action, the cost may be 15 lakhs, right? You might have thought that okay, like I'll complete this work within this project within 5 months, but the time that you took to complete the project maybe 8 months. So monitoring system should be there to see that all these things are properly done. Then sometimes what happens is that ineffective supply is there. It is the duty of the project manager to ensure the availability of all inputs, all right from raw material to the human resources to the technology. Everything should be there, all right, to complete or to do the project here. All right? But it is observed that the project gets delayed because of the availability of inputs itself is delayed. Right? You have human beings, you have technology, everything. If the raw material is not available on time, what is the use? Right? That is one of the problem here. Then faulty procedures are certain times they are followed here. Without developing proper procedures, most of the project personnel remain engaged in unnecessary reports. What happens here is that uh, sometimes, all right, I'll read this once again. Without developing proper project procedure, all right, how to complete the project, how many employees you may require, how many, okay, how much money you may require, all right, without developing a proper procedure, most of the project person or people who are working in a project, they do unnecessary jobs because they do not know what they are supposed to do, right? So they are engaged in unnecessary reports. Right? So everything they are doing a report, fine, it's good, but like what is the outcome? Right? These projects should be clearly understood in the initial stage of the project. When you're doing a project, first thing what you have to do is that you have to clearly define what is the project all about, what is the uh, use of the work, right? The project what you're doing, where it will be used and how will it be used. That is the uh, one of the procedure, so that no confusion arises later on, right? Who will do what job, when they are supposed to complete, within what time they're supposed to complete, correct? These are the things that they have to do it initially, and later on they should not avoid any confusion. Then we're going to the next one. That's the last two are there. All right. Faulty manpower planning here is that the success of the project greatly depends upon the quality and quantity of the of the personnel associated. All right. So you have to hire efficient and sufficient manpower. Manpower is nothing but the employees or staff members or team members. Lack of proper human resource planning is a major obstacle in the process of project implementation. To complete a particular project of a company or of a, yeah, or of a company, how many employees or staffs you may require, that you have to initially you have to make an assessment. All right. Then lack of proper follow-up. This is one of the major problem here. Lack of proper follow of the project is also a big obstacle in a successful implementation of a project. Some you might have started the project with one intention to complete a particular task, but the outcome may be different. Right? You might have thought that okay, like today we will complete this particular task or we'll complete the particular project, this particular project within 8 months, but it took 12 months or sometimes 14 months. Why? Because there is no proper follow. Who did what, right? and how much money was involved in this. There's no proper follow-up in this. So in the next class, we are dealing with a concept called as project communication management. So uh, this we will deal in detail how project communication is made, all right? How communication system works in a project management.